Let us begin with Proverbs. Father, I ask that you guide my tongue, guide my mind, guide my thoughts, guide the operations of my hands, goings of my feet, the feelings of my heart, to be in alignment with your will. Let your will be done. Let me be invisible, for you are invincible. Amen. All right, we're going to begin Proverbs. We've talked a little bit about the importance of Proverbs before, but just in keeping with what we like to do, I know those who've been around for a while, you've seen this before, but this is for the benefit of those that are new. We'll look at what is one thing that makes Proverbs so unique. Well, some will say that it's its ancient history, which goes back to ancient Egypt, and of course it was plagiarized by Solomon. And that's what the Masonic elite, who revere Egypt for a different reason than you, want you to believe. And so therefore they credit many good things to that culture that really should be credited to the other black culture that lived alongside them. But let's continue. Pro and fro. Pro and fro are the same words. Did you know that? Pro means positive or forward. Pro-black, pro-life. Fro, to walk to and fro. Again, you're going forward. Froward, your frowardness. You find that word oftentimes in scripture. It's one of those words that they call archaic, or that they say people don't use anymore. Okay, and I maintain that as long as a word is a word and people know it, it's in play. What it is certain words become less circulated by the powers that be for whatever reason. But with pro and fro, you have the word for, again, which has to do with forward. Both words are really synonymous with the word for, even if you manipulate the letters. Okay. I used to remember por favor in learning Spanish because I would think of it as for favor. Okay? Which wasn't too far off, now was it? But the P and the F share this similar etymological background. It's evidenced by the fact that an F is nothing but a P with this little appendage in the front. I drew an F here and I drew an F here, and I just made a line to connect them, two at the top. So an F and a P have this similar etymological rooting, and you'll even find this when I went to Philadelphia, and I went around there where they got all of the old Independence Day type of stuff, Declaration of Independence type of stuff. I went and bought some of that stuff, and I noticed that a lot of the writings, you will find P where F was, and I think another strange placement, I want to say with S. But I noticed that then. And also, we'll also see in the word proverb, we'll see we'll see two letter switcheroos that make us forget that all words are verbs. All words are action words. Every word that you say sends things into action one way or another. So proverbs is not action words that are for you. Okay. But the pro is the for you part. The verbs, you get verbal, verbatim. Okay, having to do with words, verbal and verbatim, verb and word, same word. You see how the B and the D ain't nothing but a switcheroo there, especially when you was a kid and they taught you how to write them in lowercase. D, B, and P would throw you off now, wouldn't it? Because it was the same little symbol. You would just invert the symbol or change the direction of it. But without going too much further into it, yes, Proverbs, so important because there are words that are for you, positive words. You get a lot of inspiration out of Proverbs. When I was not a believer, it was a book that I had enough sense to know there was a lot of jewels in there, and I used to like to leaf through those jewels Yeah, even back then. So I hope that you enjoy these positive words, these proverbs. Oh, and that V, I had that up there for someone who had asked about W. How is a W 3 6s again? Because a W is made of 3 V's. Okay, you knew this when you was a kid, right on that big green paper. It's not a W. In Spanish, it translates to double V. In French, it's double, translates to double V. It's a double V, not a double U. They lie. Double V, right? All through this spelling. Lots of lies. Well, so V has a Hebrew numerical value of 6. That's where it comes from. Well, that's just 66. No, that's a 6 and that's a 6, true. But there's a third V. It's right there. Right there. Right in the space at the bottom. That's the third V. Maybe now you can see. See? That's the third V. The third V is that. Right there. That's the third V. So let's get down to the business of it. The book of Proverbs. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction. To perceive the words of understanding. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment, and equity. To give subtlety to the people. The young man knowledge and discretion. Okay, subtlety to the people, because when people are wild and are in a state of do as thou wilt, self-governing themselves, they're not subtle. They show no shame. And this is a different usage of subtle than what we find in Genesis when it describes the serpent as subtle. That the Hebrew word used there was synonymous with cunning, which is different than to show some shame. That type of subtle, acting civilized. Let's use that word. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. Aren't they wrestling downstairs? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. What's the beginning of knowledge? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. The people that is puffed up and will quickly tell you, I don't have no Lord, I don't have no God, ain't nothing over me. They don't have knowledge. They don't even have the beginning of knowledge. They have information. We talked about the difference between knowledge and wisdom, and understanding, overstanding, and understanding. Then you've got information. A lot of people got a lot of information, they got no knowledge. Knowledge is having some order of that information. But according to, and that's still a linear, logical description of knowledge. Scriptural description of knowledge makes it plain and simple. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Without that, you ain't got no knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Who despises wisdom and instruction? Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You despise wisdom and instruction unless it comes from a preferred vessel. A vessel that you look up to. Have mercy. But way out. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. This is the real jewels, if you listen here. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent you not. If people is trying to get you to do something, you don't have to consent to it. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us set this person up. Take them out. Take what they got. Let us lurk privately for the innocent without cause, or let us rip some people off. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. We're going to come up. We're going to hit a lick. Cast in thy lot among us. You putting in on it? Let us all have one purse, one pot. My son, walk not you in the way with them. Refrain thy feet from their path. You know what that means. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. They can't wait for some foolishness. You know people like that. Their spirits, the demons that have them bound, seek to hang around you to take you down. That's right. No one's exempt. Look how much you ignore it and deny it. Surely, in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. What does that mean? Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. If you want to catch the bird, don't spread the net right in front of him and show him, look, it's a trap here. Right? And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privately for their own lives. So, basically saying crime don't pay. In vain, will these things be done. You seek to set up someone and everything backfires on you. You've seen it on First 48 many a times. Have mercy. Folks thought they had the perfect plot. It wasn't supposed to tell and somebody forgot. Let's continue. And they lay wait for their own blood, and it will turn around and come back and bite you on the butt. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Head or gut. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privately for their own lives. Jam their own selves up. Sneaking around and creeping around in private, trying to set folks up and whatnot. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Being greedy of gain will take away your life if that is a spirit that you own. Man, whose name is on the deed, it own you. We understand what it means. Okay, so are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, like a town crier trying to get the people's attention. People not paying attention. Wisdom is crying out, and everybody want to act a fool. Fooling. In the city she uttereth her words. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? Granddad used to tell me, quit being so common, Theodore. Yeah, he used to make me jump when he said it too. Okay, Granddad, till I go back outside. Okay. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Gee, Monelli. I don't know. Turn you at my reproof. Reproof. Checking you. Okay, when I check you. Okay? Like a Nike shoe. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. If you turn away when the Lord corrects you, he corrects those whom he loves. Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But you have set it naught, all my counsel, naught meaning nothing. So you took all my counsel for nothing, and with none of my reproof. Wasn't trying to hear it. Because you've done these things, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord, which is the beginning of knowledge. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. Like a reprobate mind being given over to a strong delusion. Okay, that's what you want to do. Some people have to do them like that. You know, that's the last resort. Okay. All right. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them. Because you turn away, you're going to jam your own self up. Ain't going to hurt me. You know, of course, looking from the Father upon his children, of course he's hurt when we don't obey. He's not surprised, but he would that we would choose him. All right. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. A fool and his money shall soon part. Or if you ever seen those specials about people that hit the lottery, how they destroy themselves, they self-destruct. Okay. The prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Okay. Look at all the precautionary tales of entertainers who were prosperous and allowed for their prosperity to destroy them because of the things that they bought. Either they crashed an expensive car going too fast from drinking too much, But whoso hearkeneth unto me, hearken here, listens to me. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. My son, chapter 2. If you will receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thine heart to understanding. Yea, if you criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if you seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures. I remember reading this when I was a non-believer. That cracked my head. You're supposed to look for understanding like some jewelry. If you seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. Amen. For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. The Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom. Layeth up means to store something for later. Yeah, he gives it to you, but he gives it to you later. After the knowledge and understanding. Because you should understand what you know. Some people know things, don't understand them. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. Part of the armor of a soldier. He keepeth the paths of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness, and judgment, and equity, yea, every good path. Equity has to do with being fair, equal. What your home is worth, the equity in your home. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion, which is to be discreet. Don't be so loud and boisterous and, cackling about nothing. It's a sign of civility. It's a sign of being civilized, and a sign of having the Holy Spirit to be comfortable, first of all. But it's a sign of being civilized, to be able to control oneself. Don't be impulsive. Don't be driven to a feeling. Driven means somebody else is driving. Have mercy. I was driven to work this morning. That means you didn't drive. Let's continue. Drive your own car. All right. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. Thank you, Lord. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. Then you'll understand, when wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul. Discretion shall preserve thee. It'll keep you alive to be discreet, to turn down. Discretion is the opposite of turned up. Discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee. To deliver thee from the ways of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things. We just talk about that. Forward. Being too forward with somebody. Okay. Nasty. Vulgar. Vulgate. Who leave the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked. Sometimes I delight in the frowardness of the wicked. Lord, help me. You know when you laugh at bad stuff. You hear some comedy, or you hear somebody say something and it's not a pleasant thing that they say, but it was funny how they said it. You hear that all the time in Detroit. I have to work on that. Excuse me. Whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths. Okay, well, my ways ain't crooked. I'm not froward in my paths. To deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words. Now here is some 3D scripture coming up. This is this about an actual woman? This talking about a woman? It's both. It's figurative and literal. Yes. Let's continue. Okay. So these proverbs are to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words. Flattery shouldn't get you nowhere, but unfortunately for some people it does. You want to be cautious. That's one reason you got to look twice at some of those who push you away from black biblical heritage and push you into something that's all about flattery. The beauty of it. Look at the beauty of it. To whom much is given, much is required. If you really knew what it was about to be one who attempts to represent that heritage, a lot of folks wouldn't sign up for it. But as long as you can just look sweet, rock gold, see, that's what Egypt is about to y'all. And do what you want to do. Make up your own rules. You can't follow 10 commandments. It's a lot of laws in Hammurabi, Ma'at, the whole 9 yards. If you really want to deal with that science. But again, everybody ends up doing it in their own version, okay? Which is what makes that so dangerous. There's no one place you can go to and, okay, hey, this is how we do, all of us black Egyptian folks. That's what we thought Dr. York and the WAPO was going to provide, okay? But then you see a house divided against itself kind of stand. When the devil is in the details, it's destined to fail. But let's continue. So, yes, you want to watch out for that flattery. That's flattery. That's what that's about. Okay? Like everything look good is. Everything sound good is. You don't look into things. Okay? You like Keith David in tunnel vision. You need Roddy Piper to come and shake you up and fight with you to make you stop and look at something. Don't be that way. Alright. So, okay. These words and proverbs are to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger, which flattereth with her words, which forsaketh the guide of her youth. She didn't listen to the way she was raised up. And forgetteth the covenant of her God, and she's forgot about the agreement, the contract she's made with God. For her house inclineth unto death. Her house have a way of killing you. And her paths unto the dead, and her pathways lead to death. None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life. That thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. 3. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the firstfruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. Given it shall be given unto you. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. Don't get tired of the Lord correcting you and chastising you. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. You ever see somebody just let their little bad kid just do anything? Something's wrong there. That bond is not right. You should care enough about that child to be on his head like you do your favorite. Okay? I don't mean the spoiled love. I mean you can tell they just had enough of trying to tell this child what to do. Okay? But a sign of love is concern. You know. And one bears witness to the other. Alright. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. If you're not chastising, if you're not saying nothing to them, it translates to them. They don't know what's going on in your mind, in your world, wherever your mind at. But to them, it's like they don't care what happened to me. That's why a lot of the young people have the attitude that they have. Some parents with good intention, the road to hell is paved with those, have thought, if I be their friend or give them everything, let them do whatever they want to do, all that type of stuff, whatever, then they'll love me more. Perhaps they didn't understand the strictness, the blessing of the strictness that they themselves were raised with. So instead of passing that down, raising up the child in the way that they shall go so that they will not depart, they want to deviate from that because they see that as a bad time in their life. All right. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding, for the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. So it's better to find or to gain wisdom than it is fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things you can desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. This is another analogy relating to the analogy that we saw in chapter 2 that is going to revisit again in 7. This is the analogy of the virtuous woman, which is also going to be revisited. I believe. Yeah. Okay. Her ways are ways of pleasantness. Are you pleasant, ladies? And all her paths are peace. Have mercy. She is a tree of life to them that lay upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Y'all remember that. This is one to incorporate in your prayer if you have problems sleeping, problems getting the rest for whatever reason. Everything is in here, y'all. It's all in here. You have not because you ask not. Closed mouth don't get fed. So get you some of this bread. Like you're allergic to it. That Bible ain't changed a page from your grandma's house since she was living. Have mercy. Still got that Bible sitting up on that coffee table. Still got dust on it. Go over there and get that Bible. But they be like, oh, don't move Mama's Bible. So she'd rather I use it. Have mercy. Get you one. I think they got them at the dollar store now. Gmo Nelly. So yeah, Proverbs chapter 3, verses 23. Maybe I would start at 20, 22, 25, 26, but I would use those, Proverbs 3, 20 through 26. I would incorporate those in my nighttime prayer if I have problems going to sleep. Okay? Because it continues. It goes from when thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. In the authority of the name of Jesus, I touch an agreement. It is so. I'm touching agree with you. Okay. All right. Sleep tight. Not yet though. Hold on. All right. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. You hear that? Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. You should think about that every time you pass a homeless person about to go take some of that money to waste on something. I'm telling you what it say. I ain't writing. Get mad at me. Mad at Solomon. All right. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. That's the stipulation, when it's in the power of your hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. Okay, when you know you got it. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwells securely by thee. It's not fair. You ever heard the expression, don't make a mess where you eat. Strive not with a man without cause, if he've done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Don't envy your oppressor. I'm going to get on you about this too right here. Let me tell y'all something else. You Egyptian so-and-so folk, you want to be like the elite. That's why you want to identify with that. You want to identify with bossing somebody or you know, how can you be a king without a subject? You envy the oppressor. You say, well, I want my chance to boss up on somebody. I want my chance to enslave somebody. You're wrong. You're wrong. Yes you do. Yes you do. That's the foundation of your desire and love for that is a hate. When the foundation for your love is a hate, that ain't love. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. Okay, I'm sorry. Envy you not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. You practice the same religion he practiced. They don't believe in the Messiah. Strive not with a man. Okay. Without, strive not with a man without cause, if you've done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. That gets on me, because you use a premise of wanting to be bigger than the oppressor, something greater than the oppressor. You want to be an oppressor. Don't you understand that the rulers always oppress the common people? It's always been that way. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Who taught the ways of dynasty to man? We do that the best. So it don't matter what, because they was black, they was oppressors of other black people. I'm sorry. No, I ain't. All right. Envy you not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, for the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. Yeah, his secret is with me, and I ain't gonna tell you. I'm not talking to the Matthew 24 crew. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. You're going to be promoted to shame. This one, the hardest ones in the book. This is hard. Hear ye children the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. This is Solomon. He taught me also in spite of the Lord, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. So as it was passed on to him, he's passing it on. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Don't decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Again, you can know something and not understand it. Case in point, I can give you the answers to something, to a test. Say you got a trig test, 5th hour. I had it 4th hour. It's going to be the same test. I give you my answers. You have the knowledge of the answer, but have no understanding of how to arrive there. what it means. Let's continue. For I was my father's son, tender, young, and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when you do embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Okay. If somebody straightens your steps while you're going, you'll be hindered. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it. Turn from it, and pass away. Again, this is reiterating some of the things we saw in the first chapter. For they sleep not, and he's going to elaborate on these things. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they can cause some to fall. You know some folks like that, don't you? Some people, they can't go to sleep unless they did something wrong to somebody. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Ain't that something? But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. So you pick if you're going to be considered dark or light. That's right. The terminology that's been put on you is to paint you as dead and wicked. Negro. Muerte. I just look like this. All right. My son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Reading the word over and over again helps to write it on the tablet of your heart. So it don't matter if you're in a jam and you don't have your small caliber with you. Okay? You know Kung Fu. Alright. Just an analogy. Calm down. Okay. For they are life unto those that find them, in health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. That's what you let on your heart and in your heart and out of your heart. Keep thy heart means to guard it, watch it. Okay, not hide it or harden it, because it also says that in the last days that the love of many shall wax cold, which has to do with the hard-heartedness that's on the earth, that's been promoted. People not sweet to each other. Okay? A lot of times brothers, don't act like they have concern one for another unless they're already acquainted. And then even the fairer sex, which used to be the gentler, sweeter sex, they've become so abrasive in their speech and in their thought pattern and in the way that they express themselves now. Okay. People's hearts have been turned inside out. Alright, let's continue. So keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth. Pay attention to this one too. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. It's kind of plain. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Okay, on the straight and narrow path, that's what that's talking about. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Established is stable. Stable. Established has to do with stable. Okay. You establish yourself as the best ball player on the team. That position is stable now, ain't it? Let's continue, because you've established yourself. Okay. Let's continue. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. Chapter 5. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. She'll flatter you. Hey, baby. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou shouldst ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. That used to vex me. That was a dark saying, wasn't it? That's a cold saying, because I had to get more experience with oppressed and possessed individuals to understand that, yes, once you're sharing a personality, or you may be sharing a few personalities, your body may be sharing quite a few personalities. What you gonna do, ain't nobody gonna be able to tell, including you. Simple, ain't it? Now. So yes. And again, this is using the analogy of a woman, because at that time, to see a woman go astray was much more crucial. There's an old expression that goes, as a woman goes, so goes the nation. Excuse me. And that's the theory that's based on. If you can get the women turned out, I mean, the rest will follow, for real. And that would be the In Vogue song. It was 2, where they was dressed up super gothic, witchy, like somebody had that question. What would be the one? Or they asked me about an In Vogue song. I didn't remember the one you asked me about, family. But those 2, Free Your Mind, and there was another one. It reminded me of Janet Jackson when she made Black Cat. You know, we thought it was just crossover stuff at the time. That's what we thought. You know, they just trying to get some of that rock money. But now we know it's bigger than money. Though they do something strange for some change and something funny for some money, it's bigger than that. Alright. So yes, but that's why they will use this description of a woman, you know, also analogous to the Jezebel, Lilith dynamic, which is to say just Lucifer coming in a form of a demonic woman, or one of his demons manifesting the form of this woman who was known to not only destroy the children because of her vendetta against Adam and the first family, She had the same vendetta that Lucifer had. That was his vendetta. So again, it's nothing. It's Lucifer still. It's the feminine representation of Lucifer, and oftentimes that would be what they will use to show you, an example. They would oftentimes use a woman from this time, because when a woman was out of pocket, or when she was not in line with the Most High and was worldly, it get more attention. Okay, like red versus green. I can have a square of red tile the same size as a square of green tile, and there's something that the eyes and the mind do that cause one to believe that there's more red, that tile is slightly larger. But it's because of negativity, and when something is shocking and negative, it gets a lot of attention. The parental advisory stickers made records fly off the shelves because of that. Okay, there's a way that people gravitate toward this negativity, toward this negative attention, and when it was a woman, that was that much more striking. To see a man behave other than himself wasn't as striking and shocking in those ancient cultures and societies where womanhood was revered on a much deeper level than it is today by this society, of course. But yeah, this is the part that I thought would be in chapter 7. It is in 7 too. Okay. But yeah. So for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb. Okay. And her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell, lest thou should ponder the path of life. Lest you know something about life, her ways are movable, that thou cannot know them. Hear me now, therefore. This is DID. You hear that? Multiple spirits. Dissociative identities, however you want to define it. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth, which there's a thin line between those two. I know it's not exactly the same thing. Trust me, I know. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not near the door of her house, lest you give your honor unto others, and your years unto the cruel. Lest strangers be filled with your wealth, and your labors be in the house of a stranger. You lose everything, and you mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and at the end you're going to lose that. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Your fountain, what springs forth your goods. Okay? And rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Okay, I told y'all for this before on that think like a fool, act like a fool. When you're a young man, and you got a bird in hand, don't let it go for one in the bush. Messing up with yo for show, trying to get some more, you end up with no. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. You want to be careful too when you partner up with folks for business even. in this climate. Be ye not unequally yoked. Don't bind yourself up with unbelievers and then expect victory. Okay. Let her be the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be you ravished always with her love. And why will you, my son, be ravished with a strange woman and embrace the bosom of a stranger? Now remember, this is analogous. The stranger is foolishness and frowardness, and the stranger is this harlot. Okay? The wife of your youth is the way you was raised. Okay? Raise up a child in the way they should go. The way that you was raised up in the way you should go. Alright? Okay? Both literal and figurative meanings going on at the same time. Lots of times throughout Scripture. That's what makes it so interesting to read when you sit down and read it on your own. Okay. It was to let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. I believe that's forest animals or something like that, I believe. For some reason I just see Bambi, man. I think that's what it means. We've been doing it. We're at the end anyway, y'all, so we can look that up right quick. Hind and a roe. I'm almost sure that those are woodland creatures. And not in hindsight. No. Hind animal. Well, I'm pretty fair for a square. I told you I just look like this. Detroit public schools, hey, that's what's up. Especially in the 70s. Alright, yeah, hind is some kind of deer. And the other one, yeah, okay, both of them, I know that. I know what a roe is. I bet it's the same thing too. Some things I'm not sure if I know. Say it sounds familiar, like I heard it before. Yep, it's a deer too. Yeah, okay. So, yes. So let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Okay, so they go together and they love each other and they nudge each other and all that is romantic stuff. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be you ravished always with her love. Don't be easily led astray, because there's so many wayward women, Jezebels and Liliths out here today. Okay, if you have a virtuous woman, be satisfied. And why will you, my son, be ravished with a strange woman and embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins, the wicked that is. His own iniquities will take him out. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Foolishness, folly. And that was the reading of the word today. Thank you for taking another good look at the good book. Get to know the book of the Lord and the Lord of the book, as was given to me by my sister in Christ, Kimberly Milligan. She gave me that phrase. She said that the Lord gave her that phrase to give to me, to give to you guys. And so again, I thank you for tuning in. We're working on that thing, y'all. Working on that thing. I'm a regular Spike Spielberg around here. I'm trying to get my F. Gary Gray on. And I'm enjoying it too. I might do this more often, but it just takes so long to get one thing together. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And it ain't McDonald's. So, get back at you a little bit later. Much love to you. And all thanks and joy and praise belongs to the Creator.